Hello, welcome back to another edition of Welcome to the Industry. I'm your host, Big DeeMo. We're just coming back off of our break. I have a guest today, and might I ask, it's our first guest from the metal world on this season. And it's my guy, Edwin Quinteros, formerly of Disco Bang and Chalk It Up. He played basses. This guy shreds. He also is forming a career in MMA that we found out. And we're going to find out everything else he's been up to these last couple of years. What's up, Edwin?
What's going on, man? That's a good intro. I like it.
Yes, sir. Like we have guests on here. Some I know personally, some I don't. You I happen to know personally,
Yep.
and I know you've been in the game for a long time, and you're pretty good bassist. What's going on these days with you?
Uh, these days I'm just working, trying to be a dad, and doing jujitsu in my spare time. As far as music goes, I'm not very active right now. I'm staying away for a bit, but it's still open to play and jam, just not being a project or a band.
So you're young Edwin, all right, and the song comes on, and it's the one. It's the one that makes you want to jam. What band? What song? And to the earth, what?
What band and what song was my jam song? Okay, let's see. It would have to be okay. It's gonna be my favorite band, my favorite hardcore band. That would be Broken Wings out of Boston, Massachusetts, and the song would be "Like Starscream." Yeah, that was like I heard that when that comes on, it's just like who turned this on? An instant aggression, just like you feel it.
And are they a screaming band?
Yeah, they scream and stuff. They call themselves mosh metal. It's just aggressive
Okay.
hardcore. It's just aggressive hardcore, I think,
Yeah,
honestly.
you
But
know, there's so many different genres now. Like just like a tweak of the string, and now you're like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, it's
You're
like
just metal, or you're not, you
it's
know.
like a mosh pit of subdivisions of heavy music. It's very nerdy.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
Um, the subdivisions and stuff. I mean, there's always been the metal
Yeah.
elitist. The metal elitist has existed since the days of metal in the '80s. That guy who knows everything about metal, who's just kind of douchey about it, and it's like, oh, you like that band? So, it's like there's just more of that
Yeah.
now in lower levels, and it's kind of annoying. But if you look at it in a positive way, which I tend to look at everything with a silver lining, I just think it's more areas to explore and make a dent in at the time when I was trying to do music a lot more.
That makes sense, man. I feel, like all the subgenres. Like at the end of the day, it's music, right? So it's gonna fall under some category. I don't feel like there has to be all of these subdivisions. It just falls under that, that original category. And just adding something just means you added something. That's it, But you're still that, right?
I think it's just the weird, unreasonable human tick that we have of just needing to categorize everything so we can remember it.
Got
It's
you.
like we
Hey, I
have to
never looked at
label
it
it
that
as
way.
this.
No, that's good. Wow,
It's
that's
kind of
pretty cool.
it's kind of weird. I was like, why do we have to do that? And it just now everything is a label. Everything is this and that. And if it doesn't fit, we try to make it fit. It's like,
Right. Let's. How about this? Let's let's go down since you're like hardcore fan, right? Let's.
yeah,
You can easily pick
deathcore.
out. Yeah, you can easily pick out some of these. Like, let's go. Who's the greatest bassist and why? Who's the greatest drummer and why? Who's the greatest lead guitarist? Down the line. Who's the greatest screamer or lead singer? Let's go down the line.
Okay. I can do this. Let's see. I'd say right off the bat, disclaimer, not everyone I'm gonna name is from a heavy band. A lot of the best, like me as a hardcore kid, a lot of the best breakdowns I've ever heard weren't even from hardcore bands. So it's like
Wow. Okay.
there's a lot out there, it's a great guitarist is more than just being able to do impressive things, it's all kinds of stuff. But if I had to say
Right.
who's my favorite bassist, man, this guy's name escapes me, but I would say he's the bassist for a band called Dream Theater. He's an Asian guy with long hair. He's impressive. That guy plays so fast that he has to lick his fingers, so he can slide up and down. And he plays. It's cool.
Wow.
He's impressive to watch. I just watch him and I'm like, wow, dude, that's the elite level, 100%. So
Like he needs to wax fingers.
yeah,
He needs-
it's like a fish in water. He's swimming, just doing everything so smoothly, and then just it's so crazy to watch, dude. But I wish I knew his name right now, but he's definitely my favorite, even though I don't know his name. But let's see, guitarist. Oof, that's a tough one. I'd say I like shredders. I like guys that play crazy, you know, like metal, speed metal type stuff. So I'd say Michelangelo Baccio, I think is his name. That guy's crazy. He's so good he can play ambidextrous. So he has like an X-shaped guitar and he plays like this and harmonizes himself. Like he's he's amazing to
what?
watch. Look him
That
up.
I'm gonna have to look that up. That
Yeah,
sounds crazy.
it's God mode. It's like amazing. You're just like, how can a person play this well and like play two different guitar parts at the same time and just like shred like solos on both? He's amazing. Yeah, that guy's the top for
Some
sure.
people are just so gifted, man. Some people are just so gifted. I'm sure he had to work at it, like he put in the work. That's crazy. What
That's
about
true.
drummer?
Drummer, I'd have to say this doesn't go into skill. This goes into favorite for me. So I'd just say who did I like the
Right.
most and why? I liked Neil Peart from Rush a lot growing up because my dad
I
was
hear
really
that a
into like
lot. Yep.
my dad's really into like classic rock and stuff like that. So I'd say Neil Peart, Bill Bruford from a really old band called King Crimson. Um, who else? A lot of jazz drummers whose name escaped me. There's a guy on Instagram called El Estepario. He's kind of like a Spanish guy, I think, and he looks like an Arab dude because his facial hair. But that guy plays everything one handed. He's amazing to watch. Like that guy's pretty cool. So I'd say those guys rounded out for me. But my top, who I like to watch the most, had to be Neil Peart because I think it's just the thing of like elevating the drum set and spinning it and rotating it and do that was mind blowing when I was a kid. I was like, that guy's amazing. I want to be
Absolutely.
that.
And when that question you ask, a lot of people say his name. Like it's not even close. Like a lot of people say his name as the top tier drummer. Or you hear,
Yeah,
some people like or stuff like that. But you hear Neil's name a lot.
yeah.
What about lead
That's real quick.
singer?
Lead singer, vocalist. I do have a favorite frontman when it comes to hardcore. That's who I tried to emulate myself after when I was on the stage
Okay.
doing vocals briefly. I did vocals for one band, and that was who I would say was what I was trying to go for. And that would be Jonathan Blake out of On Broken Wings again, my favorite hardcore band. So I'd say him for sure. Yeah, that guy was my favorite growing up. Yeah,
All right, that's a pretty good list, man. That of course, not everybody is going to have the same list, so it's always interesting to hear,
of
what
course.
people were influenced by
Compliment.
or what. Right, and then when you go back and listen to your music, like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, he's influenced by,
You can
this
hear
guy
it.
for
You can
sure.
hear it. You can
Right.
tell. Yeah.
So speaking of that, like you said that you're kind of like taking a break on the whole band thing. And your experience, why don't most bands stay together? And what's your take on the regrouping?
Okay. Um, I'd say life be life and life is just life and it hits you like a train at all times when you least expect it. And that's normally why most bands fall apart because they have to generate money and our industry does not generate that much for the artists anymore. Especially since it's been restructured, everything goes off of plays now instead of record sales because records are null and void. So it's like finding where you fit and how much you can actually make is really discouraging for a lot of artists. So it turns into a hard copy game of like needing hard items like T-shirts, merch, stuff like that that you can sell and keep. So it's like there's different tiers depending where you're at in being a band. If you're just starting, you're going to create all that stuff and it's going to be slow for a while. But if you already have a fandom and you bring out merchandise, it flies. So it's and how far your reach is, how much, where you played, what your extension into this scene is truly. Like, are you just a California band? Have you been on tour? Have you done a West Coast thing? Have you never played live? You know, like, are you a studio band that all your members are spread out all over the place and you guys just email your stuff and then someone puts it together in a lab? Like, there's all kinds of different types of bands and
Bro, you're
groupings.
right. You're right. It's so many elements now, right?
So many elements. So it's like all those things make it fall apart. In my case, personally, all my bands fell apart due to uh, a single member making a mistake that was too much for other members, or they got a girlfriend and she nuked the whole thing. Like, and a combination
Wow.
of everybody's life just not fitting at the same time, you know, like people having babies, people going to jail, all kind of stuff. Yeah.
What do you think about regroupings? Like you regroup and maybe your drummer's not the same drummer, but the other three of you are original members.
Oh, like later in time. Um, I'd say that's fine because I mean, if you, I know that life brings a lot of different things in terms of what you're able to do. So, like for people like me that use my hands a lot, like to work in jujitsu, like my hands take a beating. So it's like if you ask me, can I play as fast as I used to play? No, it's very difficult. I have to like train and get my hands ready for stuff, but it's like my hands are so beat up that it's like it hurts to play an entire set sometimes. You know, if I were to do that suddenly cold without even practicing. So and like I'm not as fast, things like that. But it's all stuff you can overcome with just constantly working at it. But no one has the time a lot of times, so they just try to do it because they remember they can, and the muscle memory doesn't allow it. It's like the mind is willing, but the body's not, kind of thing. So I'd say if you used to be able to do it, you can do it, but can you still do it? Especially vocalists. It's like if you used to scream 10 years ago, can you still do it now and do it well at the high level?
I
A lot of people
know,
can.
right?
A lot of people can.
It
It's
sucks too because you're like, man, back in '91 you sounded like this, and then
yeah.
just 10 years later you picked up a smoking habit or something,
Yeah,
and
or
your
you got
voice is
fat, or you
different.
lost a lot of weight. That changes your voice.
Right.
So it's like all kinds
Period.
of things.
Period.
Yeah, all kinds
Period.
of things are variables for that. So as far as the regroupings go, I say go for it. If you're stay able to at the same level or higher, go for it. But if you're gonna make a fool of yourself, be honest. Say you're not that guy no more, and just let them find someone to. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I like that honest. I like that honest answer because a lot of people are like, "Nah, I can still get down," and I'm like,
They
"Well,
show up and there's
none of us,
total trash.
are right. Like, I can't even, like I always tell people, I can't freestyle like I used to. I used to be a monster back in the day. Now I got to think. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. Like it happens. So doing some research on you, like I remember we did cross paths for a little bit. Like there was a few years that passed, we did cross paths, and we used to always cross paths. In fact, we used to vacation together. So we definitely crossed paths. Yes, sir. I'm gonna check out those old school videos too. Well, the thing is, once I found you again, I seen you throwing around guys on a mat. And Key, man, what's going on? You transitioned to MMA? Talk about that, bro. What's going on with that?
All right. Well, it's not an MMA career, and I'm not trying to make. I'm not trying to be champion of the world or nothing like that. It's just I always been passionate and liked jujitsu, and as a kid, was interested, did a little bit, but it's different when you're a kid to when you're like when you're an adult. You have a different body, different capabilities. Everything comes into play. It's a whole new game. You know, way more strong. A lot of things. So as an adult, I'm like, once the band stuff was all done and I kind of like needed something to, keep me entertained and happy and physical and all that stuff, I'm like, dude, just let's go to jiu-jitsu, let's take it serious and let's just try to do this the best we can. And it's like, it's been fun, it's been cool, it's been like almost 2 years or something like that. And I'd say my attendance is not the greatest right now because of work and life issues, but it's like when I'm on it and I'm going, I'm definitely uh, I do have some skills there that I feel I need to keep going and keep doing it to see it through to see how far I can really push this and how good I can really be at jujitsu. But yeah, it's mainly that. I compete here and there, second place had a thing. It's pretty cool, but I got to go back. I need that gold, bro.
Congratulations.
Silver's not doing it for me.
It's still good to be proud of. But that's a tough sport, man. If
No, for
anybody's
sure,
done
dude.
anything MMA, going to the ground is rough. It's
Yep.
super rough. There's just so many elements and movements that need to be made before you can even make your move. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
it's a good exercise. And like, so how is it affecting your health? Like everything's good, right?
Oh, well, I mean that it will affect you as much as you allow it to. I'll say that because
Gotcha.
if you
Gotcha.
go in there healthy and you're trying to do well, and you're like, you're not drinking a bunch, staying up all night, doing crazy things that are going to make you perform at a lesser capacity when you do go to practice. If you're staying good and just focusing on that, then you're good. But when things start to come into play that corrupt that, your attendance falls off and stuff, and some people miss because they're busy and stuff. You see a lot of different reasons why people don't go as much. Like for me, it's just a financial thing currently. So it's like once I get going again as far as that, and because it is a hobby, it's something that I do that I pay for monthly. It's quite expensive, so it's kind of like a when I can't go, it really sucks because I want to be there, But it is what it is.
Right on. Good perspective too. I mean that whatever. Excuse me. If it's working for you, perfect, man. Keep it up. Keep it going. If you're finding peace in it, and you're also finding what you need for that competition feeling, or moving forward, whatever is getting through a hard time, keep doing what you're doing to do what you got to do.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna give you the option here. You want to do top five bases of all time or top five bands of all time?
Let's do bands. I'd space out on the bassist names for sure. Let's
Okay. Top five bands, bro.
see. Give me a sec. Mm, all right. Top five bands. Okay. All right. I would have to go a slightly heavier route and non-heavy route at the same time. It's going to be a kind of weird list. It's not going to be so balanced in terms of
Hey,
types
do
of
your
music.
mix, man.
It's just going to be
Do
all
your
over the
mix.
place. I listen to a lot of types of music in different languages and stuff like that. So it's like there's metal, there's English metal, there's Spanish metals, all kind of stuff. So let's see. I'd go with for favorite band. I'm gonna stick with Converge. Yeah, Converge is my favorite band of all time. It always have been. Like, Unbroken Wings is my favorite hardcore band. Because it's what I aimed it to be performance wise. You know, and what inspired me to write like that. But as far as bands that I just was like wow at disbelief in what they'd done, and they were like viewed this way, and it's like yeah, Converge was definitely that band for me. That's my favorite band for sure.
Okay.
Um,
So both of
so
those in
other
your top five, right? Both of those bands that you just
Yeah,
mentioned.
well, Unbroken Wings is there too. So that would be like representing the heavy for sure would be Converge and Unbroken Wings. Um, that's pretty good. After that, I'd say we start going into things that like are more meaningful to me for other reasons. So let's say I like a Spanish band that is like considered rock in Spanish. They're called well, they used to be called Caifanes. That's just stuff that my dad just force fed down my brain when I was a kid, and it's like programmed into my head. And it's like when I hear that stuff, it reminds me of my family. So it's like I always like listening to it. So that's a pretty cool stuff. It sounds like The Cure in Spanish, sort of, but like more rock instead
Oh,
of like.
cool, cool. I'll have to check that out.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah, that was a good
Shout out
phase
to
for me.
Robert Smith.
Yeah, they look like them in the early albums. Like the early albums, you look at the visual, they were definitely going for a Cure look, and then it's like they were more like that kind of a vibe, but with more pace and faster. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. Other than
Like
that,
not Temu Edward Scissorhands, right?
what?
I said they're not Temu Scissorhands, right?
I guess.
You know Edward Scissorhands?
Yeah.
He had the look where Robert Smith was up
His
and just
hair.
kind of all over the place. Yeah, and they got
Yeah.
the shirt on. It's on, but it's off.
They're really like black and white photos, and like his hair like that, and over editing. Yeah, I know all that
That's
shit.
cool though. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
uh, Other than that, I think I got one more.
What else? Yeah.
Let's see. Last one I would say, definitely on a visual just because of how they play. I guess it's one more heavy band. It would be the Dillinger Escape Plan. They are the most
Okay, I've
crazy
never
live.
heard of them, man.
They're the most crazy live band, like for sure. It's, in terms of like the hardcore thrash type of scene, grindcore, whatever you want to call it. They're like they get they're one of the bands you want to see outside, you know, like at a fair or whatever the hell's an event outside, because these are guys that like have a show going on. There's guys blowing fire. There's crazy stuff happening. It's and it's all to the music, and it's pretty nuts. So like you would be like, how are they able to play when they're all just going crazy? But they do it. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy to watch. Dillinger Escape Plan. They're one of those bands that sells out in the first 5 minutes of tickets being
What
available. It's
was
like you
that
just
band? What was that band back in the day? Oh, where they were all like, they looked like wild animals on stage. Is that Guar? Guar?
oh,
Is it
Guar wears
Guar?
they're like supposed to be aliens from other planets, but they did
Oh, is
dress
that
up
what it
cool.
is? Yeah, you should have some
Yeah,
wild videos.
there's other bands that do that though, the animal thing. There's a band that I like a lot called the Sound of Animals Fighting. It's a lot more passive and chill. It's more like an indie rock and stuff like that. And so those members, they all pick
Okay.
a face mask. So they're like they have names just like the fox, this, the dog, the this. You know, they go by names like that. They do have real names, but that's how they portray themselves in all the graphics about the band. It's pretty cool.
Interesting. That gives a good storyline too.
Yeah.
So, with still being active on your bass but not joining a band, and then you like doing competitions with MMA, what do you think is actually next for you?
uh, let's see. As far as music goes, I don't foresee anything, you know, big happening because I don't think I'm gonna let it. It would be just like, you know, going to do track like a bass track for somebody really quick because they need me and they want to throw a live bass. You know, I'll do that. You know, they're bored, they want to jam, but they're not trying to make a band. Yeah, I'll go jam with you once or twice and stuff. You know, just to do something. So that would be the extent of my musical, like what I want to do for the near future. As far as everything else,
Understandable.
as far as everything else, keep going to jujitsu for sure. Be more consistent at jiu-jitsu for sure. Um, and besides that, just keep working, bro, and just try to keep building my other stuff that I got going under the wraps, and just hopefully that gets me somewhere because nobody wants to work for 9 to 5 forever, you know. Trying to do bigger things, you know. So stay building.
Okay. They talk about the Mary, man. Yeah, you just right there, right? Yeah, I understand.
One
I
more time.
definitely
You broke
understand.
up on that one.
I was saying, I get it, bro. Like when they talk about the American dream, you just pretty much got to build your own. Like
Yep.
that's it right there. Like what makes you happy, what
Yeah.
keeps you going. So, yeah, I'm sorry about the breakup too. It might be
Yeah.
because I'm in deep inside the studio, but yeah, man, I just want to thank you for your time and giving me all that perspective. It's nice to hear someone from the rock world. A lot of people don't even know. Like I listen to Slipknot, but I love those guys. Maybe these are guys. Like I'm a consistent Nirvana listener, so I always like to check in with all the different genres and just see what's going on in that world. And I already know I can call you anytime, and you'll give me a good perspective on what's happening and what's going on in that world. And I just thank you for that time. We're definitely going to check back in with you, maybe this season, but for sure next season, and see what's going on, especially with your MMA.
For sure, dude. Let me know.
Yes, sir. Well, that's another edition of Welcome to the Industry. I'm your host, DeeMo. That was my guy, Edwin, and we're going to see you guys later down the road. Peace.